fellas?
Doing great. A lot going on around here, as a matter of fact.
Do my ears deceive me? Are the rumors true?
It is a done deal. It's kept on getting said yesterday or the other day. It was finally done, signed, sealed, and delivered now.
We got Desean Jackson.
We do?
Yes, we do. The Redskins. He's wearing burgundy and gold. But before we get into that and why that's a great idea, do you guys think it's a great idea, bad idea? Who thinks having Desean Jackson is not a good move?
No, I think once I saw the contract, especially, I thought it was an excellent move. A good deal. Yeah, win-win for both sides, definitely.
Okay, we're gonna get into that, but first, let's talk a little bit about a few other free agent signings that we got. Offensive tackle Mike McGlynn. What do we know about this guy?
Well, not a whole lot. I mean, I know he started for the Colts, that's not necessarily a great resume enhancer. They had not a great offensive line. That doesn't mean, though, that every individual on there can't work in another system. But we were talking before the show. He's a mauler. He's a fighter, and I think certainly not that the guys on the line there have been there aren't tough, but they don't really have that mauler reputation. I think bringing that to the line is going to be a good move.
New identity.
Yes.
And I think what you like about him also is he did spend 1 year in Cincinnati, so there's some familiarity with Jay Gruden and his system. And I think the more veterans he can have to kind of help be diplomatic and teach what they want to see, especially there on the offensive line that they've bulked up on the interior, that's a good thing.
I really like Mike McGlynn. I'll tell you a story. I'm in Canada talking to my guy, Big O, Javon Ofoye. He's an outstanding lineman in the CFL, and he's asked me the difference between offensive linemen in the CFL and the NFL and what the difference is. And we happen to be watching the game between the Colts and the Broncos. And I'm just telling him, like, the second effort is to dominate that everybody seeks. They're trying to break the wheel. And I literally remember this guy trying to break the wheel of those Denver Broncos. Andrew Luck, a passer. He's pass protected, and again, I think the identity for the O-line is guys that are mean that can pass it.
Yeah, it's a passing game, and certainly the rushing game is important, and you don't want to overlook it. But if you can't protect, they invested a ton in Robert Griffin III.
Yeah.
Just invested another ton in a new weapon for him. But tell you what, if you can't stay upright long enough to get the ball to Desean Jackson, game over.
Exactly. I love the move. Second, third effort guy, Chris Wilson. Take it from me. You're gonna like this guy as a D lineman. I just love to demoralize a tackle. Like I love a lazy tackle. I don't care how talented he is. Give me a lazy tackle all day. Got some other additions. It's the return of Private Ryan. Ryan Clark. Good deal or not?
Oh, it's certainly a good deal. He brings not only he is slowing down at age 34. Father Time is undefeated, as they say.
Undefeated.
But I think he's one of those players. What I got from watching him in Pittsburgh is, yes, the physical skills may diminish, but he makes up for a lot of it up here just by being a student of the game, knowing what's going on, taking care of himself. Off the when he's during training and things like that. So. I think he can help. Certainly, this franchise has been crying out for safety help ever since Ryan Clark left for the Steelers, as a matter of coincidentally. So yes,
the year I signed as a Redskin. Go ahead.
And I also think it's really big for a reason that you've got two young safeties that you still don't really know what you have in Phillip Thomas and Bakari Rambo. It kind of buys them a window to develop more and learn from him. It also allows maybe. If he plays free safety, you would have Brandon Merriweather playing a more natural position at strong safety, I think. Allow him to creep up in the box and do what he does best, supporting the run game.
Yeah. Now, before I elaborate on Private Ryan, let's see why he thinks he should be here. Let's see what he expects of his role as a Redskin.
I know they want me to come in and run the defense. They want me to line guys up. Help everybody get on the same page, not bust coverages, different things like that, which has kind of been a staple of the way I play football, so I'm very comfortable there. D'Angelo and I have filled up our direct messages on Twitter even before this. Brandon and I also have spoken, and so I think those guys are excited about me coming. We've all watched each other play for so long. So we know how we play the game. It's just going to be about getting that chemistry and getting things worked on. That's things you start in OTAs, you start in the mini camps we're allowed to have here, and then training camp, being in Richmond and having to be together, having to bond in that way, I think is good for us.
Now, this is a guy that when I got here, I'm listening to Redskins Nation talk about, why did we let Ryan go? Remember, we have a new GM since that time. We have a new head coach since that time. We're doing things differently since that time. I like Ryan because you got to understand, in the game of football, it's a fast game. But what I learned is it's not necessarily about how fast the players are. It's about who moves first, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, that's what they talk like with Earl Thomas in Seattle. He's not, his 40 time is nothing to write home about, but he anticipates well and he takes good angles and he gets there well.
One of the things that I like about all of these picks is that they're coming from different teams, they're coming from different schemes. They have something to offer us from a knowledge standpoint. You know, we call him Private Ryan because he feels the alley like Private Ryan storms the beach. just in case you guys want to know that. Watch this guy, along with our front seven. The defense is getting better. I love what the Redskins are doing in free agency. They haven't, on purpose, tried to make that big splash like we've seen them do in the past. But if opportunity presents itself,
if it falls into your lap,
drum roll,
got to grab it.
Desean Jackson. Do you guys like it? I mean, who doesn't like it?
I love it. I mean, you look at a guy who's going to really do what he can to make everyone else around him better just by being on the field. The threat of him, I kind of look at it as how Randy Moss was in New England a while back, where even if he wasn't catching balls, he's just running routes and taking the threat. Rolling safeties, rolling coverages. So you got Jordan Reed going underneath. You got Pierre Garçon in single coverage. The effect he's going to have. Even Alfred Morris, they can't creep safeties in the box to defend against him.
Options.
And, you know, I mean, and that's just to put a negative note here. Just,
go ahead with the negative.
You know, that's good on paper. But I tell you what, the history of high-priced wide receivers changing teams is not good. You don't have to go back any farther than to look at Mike Wallace last year. I think it went almost half the season before he even caught a touchdown pass. Just seemed to be lost. And I think what was going on there, not that I'm that familiar with Miami, was what I kept on hearing coming out of there was, well, this is the way we play. This is our system. This is, you know. So why'd you go and play him, you know, $12 million a year or whatever it was if he doesn't fit in your system.
To play a role.
Second thing is to play a role. Second thing is, hey, here's an idea. Adjust your system to the talent. If Jay Gruden does that, I think it could be a big success.
Do you pay guys to make plays, or do you pay guys to play a role? You pay guys to make plays. In case you're just joining us this week at the Park, I'm your host, Chris Wilson, my man Rich Tandler, and Mr. Gabe Hyatt. Big Blood Drive, April 26th. Put that on your calendar. Go to www.redskins.com/bloodsaves for more information about that. So April 26th, put that on your calendar. You said Desean Jackson in New England. Well, no, you said Randy Moss in New England.
I'm sorry, Randy Moss in New England. And I'm not saying that.
I like Randy Moss better in Minnesota. And this is why.
You like the afro.
Well, no. Well, Culpepper had the big arm. I mean, as accurate and good as Tom Brady is, it was that big arm that allowed Randy Moss to just outrun zones. Like, the zone is not supposed to go that deep. Taking the coverage off of defenses. Let's see what Desean Jackson had to say about him becoming a Washington Redskin.
Just unfortunate how it had to end, but you know, I'm just looking forward to moving on and you know, doing things in burgundy and gold. So the past is the past, and you know, I just gotta, you know, take my level to, you know, a sky high. And being here with RG3, you know, Morris, Pierre, Reed, I think, you know, it's a lot of young guys here, and they're able to, you know, spark some things up. I've been able to be on the other sideline and watch what they've been doing and done some productive things. So to add me to the picture, I know Jay Gruden in there and Sean. I know they're in there trying to figure out some things to do. So I'm just excited and I'm ready to get it going, man.
Desean, you have a record to break. Rich has pointed out no big name, big signing wide receivers has done well. Well, he's going to be the first one to do well, and I'm going to tell you why. But first, let me hear what you guys have to feel about why he's going to be a great asset to this team.
Well, I tell you what, I like not just Jackson though. I like the way this whole offensive skill position looks right now. Pierre Garçon, he's the oldest of the group at 28. They go down to your quarterback's 24. Everybody else is in between that age range. They're all, with the exception of Alfred Morris, all under control, team control for the next 3 years. Morris just for the next 2 years of his rookie deal. So, okay, it might not be great this year. It could be, but even if it's not, they got a couple of years to work at it and get this, get it right, and kind of get to synchronize with each other and everything like that. So this year could be good. Now next year, I think maybe we can look for really, really big things out of them.
And there's one big difference we need to talk about. All right, he's not your average free agent. This guy was cut.
Right.
This guy's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I mean, maybe that's a cliche, but I think
Desean, chip too, a little play on words there.
Yeah, that's right. A big chip or a
chip
little
by chip.
But I think being cut and coming to D.C., why he came here was because the Redskins with D'Angelo Hall and Robert Griffin III, they showed him they really wanted him. This guy wanted to feel wanted, which I think is a natural thing to want.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
I love the strategy here. You got Hatcher from Dallas. You make an opponent that you play twice a year weaker, and you make your team stronger. You got Desean Jackson from Philly. Opponent you play twice a year gets weaker, and you get stronger. Not only that, he played for Chip Kelly, so he understands those concepts that a lot of teams around the league weren't quite ready to experience.
Spread.
Yeah. RG3 has a big arm. You talk about being in sync, that's fine. How about go deep?
Yeah.
How about just the threat of going deep? I mean, you've seen Pierre Garçon is going to have so much room to run any route, a dig, just because we have to make sure he doesn't go deep and score right now. The Redskins, I always say this, one-possession football team. 8 games, 8 losses last year decided by one possession. One possession. And now we have a weapon that can get it done. A special button, so to speak, a special move. I've played against him, so I understand the stress in going against that. So I don't think it's going to take long at all. Love the way things are shaping up right now and the way Washington are doing things in free agency.
Yeah, and I like that, like people were complaining early in free agency, well, they didn't spend on Mike Mitchell, they didn't spend on this guy, they didn't spend on that guy. But what this did was it left them with the flexibility, 3 weeks after free agency started, left them with the flexibility to when this opportunity opened up, they could take advantage of it. They are now a little bit tight against the cap. I'm not exactly sure because all the deals haven't gone through yet, but somewhere between 1.5 and 2 million cap space left. So the major moves are done, but they certainly finished it off with a bang. No doubt about it.
Bruce Allen and the Redskins front office, they really put their money where their mouth was. They said, we have a lot of holes to fix, and they went out and did it. Special teams was a big issue last year. Yep. You got 3 new linebackers that can play special teams, one of whom was the special teams captain in Tampa Bay. And on the other side with the return game, Andre Roberts can return kicks and punts, and you were getting excited about the possibility of Desean Jackson and kind of that emergency.
Only in an emergency.
Yeah. But the first time he touched the ball against the Redskins, he took a punt to the house. So
I don't remember.
In 2008. You don't remember that? I'm sorry.
I have no recollection.
But the Redskins did win the game, though. So that was.
I remember him returning a kick against the Giants.
2008.
Yeah, he's different. He's different. He's a wrinkle. Well, sports fans, get excited, get your bags packed, put them on the bandwagon because, should I call it now? I got the Redskins winning the division.
Oh, you heard it here first.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got the Redskins winning the division. I like how things are being done. The foundation is laid. We can build this thing as high as you would take us. That is all for this week's episode of This Week at the Park. Your host, Chris Wilson, Rich Chandler, Gabe Hyatt. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Don't forget, all those aspiring athletes want to play professional football, go to www.cswfaithfoundation.org to see about the Superlative Sports Combine Camp. See you guys next week.
Can I go?
Oh, yeah, you can. You're welcome. You can. We'll see what they think about you.